Debri Hayimim Aleph, or 1 Chronicles, chapter 26. For the divisions of the gatekeepers of the Korhites, Meshelemiyahu of Kore, of the sons of Asaph, and the sons of Meshelemiyahu, Zachariahu the firstborn, Yediael the second, Zebadiahu the third, Yathniel the fourth, Ilam the fifth, Yahanan the sixth, Elioenai the seventh, and the sons of Obed-Edom, Shemaiah the firstborn, Jehozabad the second, Joah the third, Sakkar the fourth, Nathaniel the fifth, Amiel the sixth, Issachar the seventh, Peulathai the eighth, for Elohim blessed him. Also, to Shemaiah his sons were sons born who ruled their fathers' houses because they were able mighty men. The sons of Shemaiah, Othni, and Raphael, and Obed, and Elzabad, whose brothers Elihu and Samachiahu were able men. And these were the sons of Obed-Edom, they and their sons and their brothers, able men with strength for the work, 62 of Obed-Edom. And Meshelemiyahu had sons and brothers, 18 able men. Also Hosa of the children of Merari had sons, Shimri the head, although he was not the firstborn, his father made him the head. Helkiyahu the second, Tabaliahu the third, Zachariahu the fourth. All the sons and brothers of Hosea were 13. These divisions of the gatekeepers among the chief men had duties like their brothers to serve in the house of Yehovah, and they cast lots for each gate, the small as well as the great, according to their father's house. And the lot to the east fell to Shelemiyahu. Then they cast lots for his son, Zachariahu, a wise counselor, and his lot came out to the north. To Obed-Edom to the south, and to his sons the storehouse, to Shuppim and Hosa to the west, with Shaleketh gate on the ascending highway, guard corresponding with guard. On the east were 6 Levites, on the north 4 each day, on the south 4 each day, and for the storehouse 2 by 2. As for the parbar on the west, there were 4 on the highway and 2 at the parbar. These were the divisions of the gatekeepers among the sons of Korah and among the sons of Merari. And of the Levites, Ahiah was over the treasuries of the house of Elohim and over the treasuries of the set-apart gifts. The sons of Ladan, the sons of the Gershonites of Ladan, heads of their fathers' houses of Ladan the Gershonite. Yehieli, the sons of Yehieli, Zetham and Yoel his brother were over the treasuries of the house of Yehovah. Of the Amramites, the Yitcharites, the Hebronites, and the Uzzielites, even Shebuel, son of Gerashom, son of Moshe, was overseer of the treasuries. And his brothers by Eleazar were Rehabiahu and his son, Yeshayahu his son, and Joram his son, and Zikri his son, and Shelomoth his son. This Shelomoth and his brothers were over all the treasuries of the set-apart gifts which sovereign David and the heads of fathers' houses, the commanders over thousands and hundreds, and the commanders of the army had set apart. Some of the booty won in battles they set apart to maintain the house of Yehovah. And all that Shemuel the seer and Shaul son of Kish and Abner son of Ner, and Joab son of Zeruiah had set apart, all who were setting apart, were under the hand of Shelomith and his brothers. Of the Yitzharites, Kenaniah and his sons were for the outward duties as officials and judges over Israel. Of the Hebronites, Hashabyahu and his brothers, 1,700 able men, had the oversight of Israel beyond the Yarden westward for all the work of Yehovah and in the service of the sovereign. Of the Hebronites, Yeriah was head of the Hebronites according to his genealogy of the fathers. In the 40th year of the reign of David, they were sought, and there were found among them able men at Yazir of Gilad. And his brothers were 2,700 able men, heads of fathers' houses, whom sovereign David made officials over the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half-tribe of Manasseh in all matters of Elohim and matters of the sovereign. Chapter 27. And the children of Israel, according to their number, the heads of fathers' houses, and the commanders of thousands and hundreds, and their officers, served the sovereign in all matters of the divisions which came in and went out new moon by new moon throughout all the new moons of the year, each division having 24,000. Of the first division for the first new moon was Yashobam, son of Zabdiel, and in his division were 24,000. Of the sons of Peretz, the chief of all the commanders of the army for the first new moon. And over the division of the second new moon was Dodai, an Ahohite, and of his division Mikloth was also the leader, and in his division were 24,000. The third commander of the army for the third new moon was Benayahu, son of Jehoiada the priest, who was chief, and in his division were 24,000. This was the Benayahu who was the mighty among the 30, and was over the 30, and in his division was Amizabad his son. The fourth, for the fourth new moon, was Asael, the brother of Joab, and Zebadiah his son after him. And in his division were 24,000. The fifth, for the fifth new moon, was Shamhuth the Yisrachite, and in his division were 24,000. The sixth, for the sixth new moon, was Ira, son of Ikesh, the Tekoite, and in his division were 24,000. The seventh, for the seventh new moon, was Haletz, the Pelonite, of the children of Ephraim, and in his division were 24,000. The eighth, for the eighth new moon, was Sibbecai, the Hushathite, of the Zarhites, and in his division were 24,000. The ninth, for the ninth new moon, was Abiezar, the Anathothite, of the Binyamites, and in his division were 24,000. The tenth, for the tenth new moon, was Maharai, the Netophathite, of the Zarhites, and in his division were 24,000. The 11th, for the 11th new moon, was Benaiah, the Pirathonite, of the children of Ephraim, and in his division were 24,000. The 12th, for the 12th new moon, was Heldai, the Netophathite, of Othniel, and in his division were 24,000. And over the tribes of Israel, the chief officer over Reuben, Eleazar, son of Zikri; over Shimon, Shaphatyahu, son of Ma'akah; Levi, Hashabiah, son of Kemuel; over Aaron, Zadok; Yehuda, Elihu, one of David's brothers; Issachar, Omri, son of Mikael, Zebulun. Yishmayahu, son of Obadyahu, Naphtali, Yeremoth, son of Azriel. The children of Ephraim, Hoshea, son of Azazyahu. The half-tribe of Manasseh, Yoel, son of Pedaiahu. The half-tribe of Manasseh in Gilad, Edo, son of Zechariahu. Benjamin, Yaaziel, son of Abner. Dan, Azarel, son of Yeraham. These were the rulers of the tribes of Israel. But David did not take the number of those 20 years old and under, because Jehovah said he would increase Israel like the stars of the heavens. Joab, son of Zeruiah, began a census, but he did not finish, for wrath came upon Israel because of this census, nor was the number recorded in the account of the annals of sovereign David. And Osmoeth, son of Adiel, was over the sovereign's treasuries, and Jehonathan, son of Uzziahu, was over the storehouses in the field, in the cities, and in the villages, and in the watchtowers. And Esri, son of Caleb, was over those who did the work of the field for tilling the ground. And Shammai the Ramathite was over the vineyards, and Zabdi the Shifmite was over the increase of the vineyards for the wine cellars. And Baal Hanan the Gederite was over the olive trees and the sycamore trees that were in the low country. And Joash was over the oil stores. And Shatrai the Sharonite was over the herds that fed in Sharon. And Shaphat, son of Adlai, was over the herds that were in the valleys. And Obaal, the Yishmaelite, was over the camels. And Ayadayahu, the Meronothite, was over the donkeys. And Yaziz, the Hagrite, was over the flocks. All these were heads over the property of sovereign David. Also, Jehonathan, David's uncle, was a counselor, a wise man, and a scribe. And Yahiel, son of Achmoni, was with the sovereign's sons. And Ahithophel was the sovereign's counselor. And Hushai the Archite was the sovereign's companion. And after Ahithophel was Jehoiada, son of Benayahu, then Abiathar, and the chief of the sovereign's army was Joab. Chapter 28. And David assembled at Jerusalem all the rulers of Israel, the rulers of the tribes, and the commanders of the divisions who served the sovereign, the commanders over thousands, and commanders over hundreds, and the heads over all the property and possessions of the sovereign and of his sons, with the officials, the mighty men, and all the mighty brave men. Then sovereign David rose to his feet and said, "Hear me, my brothers and my people. I had it in my heart to build a house of rest for the ark of the covenant of Jehovah and for the footstool of our Elohim, and had made preparations to build it. But Elohim said to me, 'You do not build a house for my name, because you have been a man of battle and have shed blood.' Yet Jehovah of Elohim of Israel chose me above all the house of my father to be his sovereign over Israel forever, for he has chosen Yehudah to be the ruler, and of the house of Yehudah, the house of my father, and among the sons of my father. He was pleased with me to make me reign over all Israel. And of all my sons, for Yehovah has given me many sons. He's chosen my son Shlomo to sit on the throne of the reign of Yehovah over Israel, and said to me, Shlomo, your son is the one to build my house and my courtyards, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I myself am a father to him. And I shall establish his reign forever, if he is strong to do my commands and my right rulings as it is this day. And now, before the eyes of all of Israel, the assembly of Yehovah, and in the hearing of our Elohim, guard and seek all the commands of Yehovah your Elohim, so that you possess this good land and leave it as an inheritance for your children after you forever. And as far as you, my son Shlomo, know the Elohim of your father and serve him with a perfect heart and a pleasing life, for Yehovah searches all hearts and understands all the intent of the thoughts. If you do seek him, he is found by you. But if you forsake him, he rejects you forever. See, now, for Yehovah has chosen you to build a house for the set-apart place. Be strong and do it. And David gave his son Shlomo the plans for the porch and its houses and its treasuries and its upper rooms and its inner rooms and the place of atonement. And the plans for all that he had by the Spirit of the courtyards of the house of Yehovah and of all the rooms all around and of the treasuries of the house of Elohim and of the treasuries for the set-apart gifts and for the divisions of the priests and the Levites, and for all the work of the service of the house of Yehovah, and for all the vessels of the service in the house of Yehovah, even gold by weight, for utensils of gold, for all utensils used in every kind of service, for silver, for all utensils of silver by weight, for all utensils used in every kind of service, and by weight, for the lampstands of gold, and their lamps of gold by weight, for each lampstand and its lamps, and for the lampstands of silver by weight, for the lampstand and its lamps, according to the use of each lampstand. And by weight, gold for the tables of the showbread, for each table, and silver for the tables of silver, and clean gold for the forks, and the basins, and the jars of clean gold, and the golden bowls by weight for every bowl, and for the silver bowls, silver by weight for every bowl, and refined gold by weight for the slaughter place of incense, and for the pattern of the chariot of the gold cherubim, spreading out their wings and covering over the ark of the covenant of Yehovah. Yehovah made me understand all this in writing by his hand upon me, all the works of these plans. And David said to his son Shlomo, be strong and courageous, and do it. Do not fear, nor be afraid, for Yehovah, Elohim, my Elohim, is with you. He shall not leave you nor forsake you until you've completed all the work for the service of the house of Yehovah. And see the divisions of the priests and the Levites for all the service of the house of Elohim, and every volunteer of any skill is with you in all work for every kind of service. And the rulers and all the people are entirely at your command. And chapter 29. And David the sovereign said to all the assembly, my son Shlomo, the one whom Elohim has chosen, is young and tender, and the work is great, because the palace is not for man, but for Yehovah Elohim. And with all my power I have prepared for the house of my Elohim the gold for the gold, and the silver for the silver, and the bronze for the bronze, and the iron for the iron, and the wood for the wood, shoham stones, and settings, and fair stones of various colors, and all kinds of precious stones and marble slabs in large quantities. And also, because I delighted in the house of my Elohim, I have treasure of gold and silver. I give for the house of my Elohim even more than all I have prepared for the set apart house. 3,000 talents of gold, of the gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver to overlay the walls of the houses, and gold for the gold, silver for the silver, and for all kinds of work to be done by the hands of craftsmen. Who then is moved to fill his hand today for Yehovah? The leaders of the fathers' houses and the leaders of the tribes of Israel and the commanders of thousands and of hundreds with the heads over the sovereign's work volunteered and gave for the work of the house of Elohim 5,000 talents and 10,000 derricks of gold and 10,000 talents of silver and 18,000 talents of bronze and 100,000 talents of iron. And those with whom were found precious stones gave them to the treasury of the house of Yehovah into the hand of Yehiel the Gershonite. And the people rejoiced, for they had given voluntarily, because with a perfect heart they had given voluntarily to Yehovah. And David the sovereign also rejoiced greatly, and David blessed Yehovah before all the assembly. And David said, Blessed are you, Yehovah, Elohim of Israel, our Father, forever and ever. Yours, O Yehovah, is the greatness, the power, and the comeliness, the preeminence and the excellency, because of all that is in the heavens and in the earth. Yours is the reign, O Yehovah, and you are exalted as head above all. And the riches and the esteem come from your presence, and you rule over all. And in your hand is power and might, and in your hand to make great and to give strength to all. And now, our Elohim, we thank you and praise your comely name. But who am I and who are my people that we should be able to give so voluntarily as this? For all comes from you, and we have given to you out of your hand. For we are sojourners and settlers before you, as were all our fathers. Our days on earth are as a shadow and without permanence. O Yehovah, our Elohim, all this store that we have prepared to build you a house for your set-apart name is from your hand, and all is of you. And I know, my Elohim, that you are trying the heart and desire uprightness. As for me, in the uprightness of my heart, I have voluntarily given all these. And now with joy, I've seen your people who are present here to give voluntarily to you. O Yehovah, Elohim of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Israel, our fathers, guard this forever in the intent of the thoughts of the heart of your people, and prepare their heart toward you. And give my son, Shlomo, a perfect heart to guard your commands and your witnesses and your laws, to do all, and to build the palace for which I have prepared. And David said to all the assembly, Now bless Yehovah your Elohim. And all the assembly blessed Yehovah, Elohim of their fathers, and bowed their heads and did obeisance to Yehovah and to the sovereign. And they slaughtered slaughterings to Yehovah, and offered ascending offerings to Yehovah on the next day. 1,000 bulls, 1,000 rams, 1,000 lambs with their drink offerings, and slaughterings in large numbers for all Israel. And they ate and drank before Yehovah with great joy on that day. And they set up Shlomo, son of David, to reign the second time, and anointed him before Yehovah to be leader, and Zadok to be priest. And Shlomo sat on the throne of Yehovah as sovereign instead of David his father, and prospered. And all Israel obeyed him. And all the rulers and the mighty men, and also the sons of sovereign David, submitted themselves to Shlomo the sovereign. And Yehovah exalted Shlomo exceedingly in the eyes of all Israel, and put upon him such royal splendor as had not been on any sovereign before him in Israel. Thus David, son of Yishai, reigned over all Israel, and the days that he reigned over Israel was 40 years. He reigned 7 years in Hebron, and he reigned 33 years in Jerusalem, and he died in a good old age, satisfied with days, riches, and esteem. And Shlomo his son reigned in his place. And the acts of sovereign David, first and last, see, they're written in the book of Shemuel the seer, in the book of Nathan the prophet, and in the book of Gad the seer, with all his reign and his might, and the times that passed over him, and over Israel, and over all the reigns of the lands. And Psalm 127. If Yehovah does not build the house, its builders have labored in vain. If Yehovah does not guard the city, the watchman has stayed awake in vain. In vain do you rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of toil. So he gives his beloved sleep. Look, children are an inheritance from Yehovah. The fruit of the womb is the reward. As arrows in the hand of a mighty man, so are the children of one's youth. Blessed is the man who has filled his quiver with them. They are not ashamed when they speak with their enemies in the gate.